Wie soll hat gekocht Essen für sich in die Tag, wenn sein Kinder ist gefahren, kein Warsche, kaufen Schores, weiß ich nicht. How he was able to cook food for himself on the days when his Hindler went to Warsaw to buy merchandise, I don't know. Ich hab dem Jeden keinmal nicht gesehen essen. I never saw that Jew eat, nor lernen. He only studied. A chutz mit Lernen hat sich euch beschäftigt mit Reinklappen, Borchu und Kedusha. In addition to learning or studying, he kept himself busy and he would participate in the prayers, Borchu or Kedusha, etliche Male Tag, several times a day. Wie nur hat gehad a Gelegenheit, reinzuhappen sich in Beis HaMedrash, and whenever he had a possibility to get into the prayer service, to a minyan, to be with him, to make a minyan, afilu nachdem wie hat schon gehad upgedavend, even after he had already finished davening. Hat is gern getun. He did it with pleasure. He wanted to do it. Gedei zu verdienen noch einmal a mitzvah, in order to earn another mitzvah. Es ist euch gewesen sein Mitzvah, auszukehren das Beis HaMidrash von Zeit zu Zeit. It is also one of his mitzvahs, one of his good deeds, to sweep out the prayer space from time to time. Aber der Beder und Shames hat von die alle heilige Meloches kein Stickel Bräut nicht gekannt essen. But the bathhouse attendant and the shamus, from these holy jobs, they didn't even earn a little, they couldn't even earn a little bit bread from, or anything to eat by doing those deeds. Und hat gemusst gehen über die Dörfer, and he had to go around the town, einzukaufen von die Peuren a bissel greens oder Tvur, and to buy up from the peasants a little bit of some vegetables or grain. Berisch hat darüber auf sich genommen die Mitzvah von Auskehren des Beis Midrash. Berisch also took upon himself the mitzvah of cleaning up the Beis Midrash, the prayer space.
It's not also, it's therefore.
What would you translate that?
Darüber is therefore. You see, the actual shamus wouldn't sweep it because he wouldn't get any money for it. And that's why Bereshel did it for him.
Oh. Hat es getun auf sein schlimmazelige Eufen. He did it in his goofy or weird way. But decken dich aus mit Staub and covering everything with dust. Einmal is in Stettel herabgekommen der Nachalnik von Savachev umgericht. One time into the town came the Nachalnik, or the Russian official, von Khachev, Sakhachev, unexpectedly. Berish hat Moira gehad, as der Elster can noch einmal upstarten a visit. Berish was afraid that this leader would make a more formal visit in Beis HaMedrash und verchosmenen, that he would make another inspection and he would sign and seal it. As zu lieb dem, and because of that, es ist nicht genug rain, and he would have to do the second visit because he would find that it wasn't clean enough.
No, I think verchasmenen here means to shut it down. He's afraid that he's going to shut down on his visit because it's not clean enough. I looked up a town, Sochachev, is about 50 kilometers due west of Warsaw. So it's in the same general area as Lenshin.
How about I read Verchasmenen, it's like he would write him up.
Yes, a seal and sign. That's what I thought.
Yeah, coming from an education background, we get written up when we misbehave, we educators. So I thought
it would be formally proved to be not clean enough, so that he was worried about.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But in this context, the Nachalnik, if he found that the Beis Medrash was not clean enough, he would close it down, lock it up, and they wouldn't be able to use it.
Yeah.
That's
He
what happens in
wouldn't
this-
give it the seal of approval, because I think that this is the seal. He wouldn't give it a seal of approval, and then
Okay.
it would be closed down. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
As to lieb dem.
Now, the S goes with verchasmenen, to sign it because of the fact that.
Mm-hmm.
Was es ist nicht genug rain, because it wouldn't have been clean enough. Is darüber gier weggelaufen in Mokum Kodesh, and so he quickly ran to the Mokum Kodesh would be the ark.
The toilet, the Makom Kodesh is the toilet.
Okay, it's ironic.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
I think
Okay, so he went to the toilet.
No, the Mokum Kodesh is this area of the Beis Medrash, which is, that's how I understand it.
But he says he weggelaufen in Mokom Kodesh und ausgekehrt die Podloge. And
he would throw the dirt in the toilet. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
that Mokom Kodesh was dirty. In Hebrew we have for the toilet, we also, we call it Bet HaKavod or Mekom HaKavod. So that's why I said, this is how I see it. Makom Kodesh is a funny way to say the toilet.
Now that's possible, but according to Stuchkov, he only puts Mokum Kodesh as a synonym with Beis Tefillah, Shol. So he doesn't understand it that way. Maybe it also has that meaning.
okay. Well, anyway, he was going to throw things in the wrong place.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
In sein Eilenisch hat dus Mist reingelegt in der Pole von sein Chalatl. In his hurry, he put the dirt in the skirt of his jacket, of his smock that he wore, the chalat, the lapels or the sides that you could fold up.
Yeah.
Was gicher es herauszutrugen, so that he could more quickly take it out. Wenn is gestanden mit der Pole Mist auf der Schwell, and when he was standing there with the skirt full of dirt on the threshold, is umgekommen der Nachalnik. And at that very moment, along came the Nachalnik. Berishel hat in Schreck gehabt sich herupnehmen das Hittel foreign ports. So Berishel, and with great fear, went to take off his hat before the ports, before the ports is the official. Von Groß Zertrugenkeit hat upgelost the polar, and being so nervous, he loosened the dirt. He loosened the skirt of his garment. Ausgeschütt das Mist gleich dem Beamten war die lackierte Stiefel. So, and he poured out the dirt right onto the officials' gleaming boots. Versteht sich, als der Nigen von Stetel.
Nugget.
States because they're nugget von Stetel, so it's understood that the rich man from the Stetel, Rabbi Yehoash Wohlhändler, Yehoash the wool merchant, hat schon gemusst reinrücken dem zarischen Vorsteher. So he also had to something to the Tsar's deputy, a Shane mit
Matbea.
he had to give them a very good donation. How do you say that word for donation?
Matbea is coin.
A matbea. Oh, he had to give him a very nice coin.
A very nice bribe. That's what it is.
A very nice bribe. Soll Meuchel sein dem Verbrecher. He should forgive the sinner.
Yeah, Verbrecher is criminal.
The criminal or the person who had done wrong.
Yeah, but Verbrecher is somebody that does, a crime, just do wrong, not just a sinner, but a criminal.
A criminal.
That's a criminal.
Should I read one more little paragraph or enough?
If you want.
Ich bin bei ihm dem Berischel durchgegangen ganz Kedushim.
Kodshim.
What is it?
Kodshim.
Kodshim.
Yeah, in Yiddish it's Kodshim. It's one of the tractates.
It's Mishnah. It's part of the Mishnah. Okay.
Oh, it went through the whole tractate of Kodshim. Mich ophalten halbe Nacht bei der Gemara. He would keep me up half the night with the Gemara, while hat stark lieb gehabt zu lernen in die Nacht, because he loved to study at night. Oh, pardon.
So sorry, Susan. I see that Raphael was assigned this part. So
enough.
Okay, thank you, Susan.
Mit der Zeit hat als mehr und mehr mich hereingezogen in die Nacht herein. With time, he drew me more and more into the nighttime, also als ich hab schon mehr nicht gekannt, übertragen und revoltiert, to the point that I could no longer bear it, and I revolted. Ich hab bei kein Fall nicht gewollt mehr gehen lernen zu ihm. I didn't want to go study with him in any way. Ich hab gekriegen a naim umsisten Melamed, Matas Varshavar. I did get a new and free teacher, Matas Varshavar. We'll hear his story next. Mein Vater hat zu jener Zeit genommen fahren zum Radziminerem. At that time, my father started traveling to the rabbi of Radzimin. Gefahren zu ihm is auf Probe. He traveled to visit him as a test run. Fahren kein Galicia zu sein ständigen Rebben hat nicht gekannt. To travel to south to Galicia to his usual rabbi, his usual Rebbe, he wasn't able. Weil es ist gewesen zu weit und zu kostbar, because it was too far and too costly. Hat genommen ausprobieren neunte Polische gute Jiden. So he began to try out close by Polish, as opposed to Galicia, a Polish Rebbeim. A guter Yid is a Hasidic Rebbe. Etliche Mal is gefahren kein Ger. A few times he went to Ger, zu Reb Label Alter, to Label Alter, welcher is gewesen der ungesehenste Rebbe in Poland. He was the most renowned Rebbe in Poland. And Ger is to the south of Warsaw now. Ich weiß nicht die Sibbe, für was hat aufgehört fahren kein Ger. I don't know the reason why he stopped going to Ger. Möglich, als das es gewesen der Fall, was in Ger hat man sich nicht stark umgeguckt auf a Rov von a klein Städtele. It could be that it was because in Ger they didn't honor very well a rabbi from a little town. Weil die ganze Aufmerksamkeit hat man geschenken die berühmte Rabbonim und Gvirim. Because all of their attention they placed on the famous rabbis and wealthy folk. Möglich, als Ger is gewesen zu scharf und trocken, war mein Taten. It could be that Ger was too sharp and dry for my father. Dem sentimentalen und enthusiastischen, my father who is sentimental and enthusiastic. Was es gewohnt gewesen zu die weiche Drochen von Galizianer gute Jiden. My father who was accustomed to the soft ways of the gute Jiden, the Hasidic Rebbeim in Galicia. Allenfalls, in any case, der Tate hat sich einmal zugehabt kein Radzimin zum Reb Mendele. Father once took himself to Radzimin, to the Reb Mendele, wemens Stern hat genommen aufgehen in der Hasidische Welt, whose star was beginning to rise in the Hasidic world. Der Radzimin Rebbe hat gehabt ein Eulam, aber a viel kleineren wie der Gerer. The Radziminer Rebbe, he already had a following, but it was a lot smaller than that of the Gerer Rebbe. Trotzdem seien kein Radzimin gefahren meistens Prosterjiden. Besides that, it was mostly the more simple Jews who would travel to Radzimin. Der Radziminer ist das nicht angestanden. Und hat davke gewollt haben zwischen seinen Chassidim, Leimdim und Rabbanim. For the Radzimin Rebbe, that wasn't actually his preference. He actually preferred to have, among his Chassidim, learned Jews, rabbis, wie der Gerer hat, as the Gerer Rebbe had. Wenn mein Vater ist gekommen kein Radzimin, hat ihm der Rebbe aufgenommen mit offenen Arms. When Father came to Radzimin, the Rebbe took him in with open arms und ihm herausgewiesen a so viel Freundschaft und Liebschaft, and he showed him so much friendship and love. Als hat ihm der Gläubiger in Menschen, dem größten Maimen, gleich gewonnen. That the Rebbe immediately won over my father, who was a believer in people, and he was a great ma'amin, a great believer. Mehr noch, wie der Rebbe, haben die Chassidim sich gezatzket mit ihm. And even more than the Rebbe's followers enjoyed having him. That gezatzket is an interesting verb here. Played around, literally, but anyway, enjoyed having him around. Welcher is aponem gewen der einzige Rav in Radziminer Reif. My father, who was apparently the only rabbi in the court of the Radziminer Rebbe. Der Radziminer Rebbe is euch nicht gewen as euch scharf, wie der Gerer. Also, the Radziminer Rebbe was not as sharp. I think that means as strict as the Gerer. Hat gedavent mit Keules, gesungen und gepravet rebische Havayas. He, that's the Radziminer, he davened out loud, and he sang, and he made gestures like the Chassidische Rebbeim, auf den Steger von the Galicianer Tzadikim, in the same manner as the holy folk of Galicia. Beim Gesegeden hat der Rebbe euch abgezahlt, mein Vater, alle seine Hoitzos. As he was departing, the Rebbe also paid off my father all of his travel expenses und gebeten ihn, soll kommen was öfter, and requested that he should come as often as possible. Hat ihm euch zugesagt, zu schaffen für ihm a bessere Bonus in einer von die Städtlach, wo hat a Sach Chassidim. He also promised to create for my father a better rabbinic position in one of the little towns where he had a lot of followers. Der Tate ist heimgekommen von der Nessia, voll mit Gläuben und Enthusiasm und Betochen. My father came home from his travels full of belief and enthusiasm and trust. Hat euch von der Nessia mitgebracht 3 Matanes. He also brought back from his travels 3 gifts. Eine, a rabbinischen Kapelush, was der Rebbe hat ihm gekauft. The first is a rabbinic hat, which the Rebbe had bought for him. I'm not quite sure what this kapelush looks like, but it's fancy and something that my father didn't have before. Die zweite, the second matana, a goldenem 5 Rubel, was ist ihm geblieben von die breite Hatzas, was der Rebbe hat bezahlt für ihm. A golden 5 ruble coin, which was left over from the generous travel expenses that the Rebbe had paid on his behalf. Und die dritte, the third matana, a yeshiva bacher mit Namen Matis, a yeshiva lad who was called Matis. Wemmen hat mitgebracht von Radziminer Reif, whom he had brought with him from the court of the Radzimin. That's as far as I go.
Yeah, all right. The kapelush couldn't be a streimel, right?
No, not a streimel. It's a broad brim, a wide brimmed hat.
Yeah, I know what a streimel is. But yeah,
Yeah, but this is not.
This is not a streimel.
The kapelush was a wide brimmed hat that rabbis would have worn at the time.
Okay, thank you.
Mit groß Brenn hat der Tate erzählt von der Mammen, die Nissim Veniflaus von Radzimmer Reben. With great enthusiasm, my father told my mother about all the wonderful things about of the Radziminer Rebbe, sein Zitkes und Freundschaft und Feinkeit und Großkeit, about his piety, his friendship, his refinement and his greatness. Die Mama, die mitnagdische Tochter, ist nicht nispal geworden auf kein Haar. My mother, who was the daughter of Miss Nagdim, was not at all impressed by this. Mehr wie als hat die Mama sich interessiert mit den Tatens samettenem Kapeljatsch. More than anything, my mother was took an interest in the velvet, this wide-brimmed hat that the father brought back from the Radziminer Rebbe. Wie ich ob schon einmal der Mond hat mein Vater mehr gehabt zu tragen rabbinische Malbushim. As I've already mentioned before, my father was afraid to wear rabbinic clothing, weil is offiziell nicht gewinn kein Rov, because officially he wasn't, he didn't have the position, couldn't fill the position of rabbi. Und nicht Rabbonim haben Leute die russische Gesetz nicht getort trogen kein rabbonische Malbushim. And people who were not official rabbis, according to the Russian law, were not permitted to wear rabbinic clothing. Der Tate pflegte rüber trogen die rabbonische Malbushim nur bei sich in Stub. And for this reason, my father would only wear his rabbinic clothing at home, oder im Bishmedras, or in the study house. After Gas überhaupt in Weg hat getrogen a groß Sameten Hittel. When he was in the street, especially on the road when he was traveling, he would wear the big his big velvet hat. Die Payers are runtergemacht hinter die Eure, with his payers placed behind his ears, hinter und a Jupiter, was hat gehabt rabbinische Keschenes von hinten. And he would wear this long, coarse coat, which had rabbinic pockets at the back. Aber es ist fort nicht gewesen kein echter, emestiker rabbinischer Chalat. But nevertheless, it wasn't a real, true rabbinic robe. Die Mama hat gewollt wissen, für was der Radziminer Rebbe hat etwas grad gedarft geben dem Taten a Matone a rabbinischen Kapeljatsch. So my mother wanted to know why the Radziminer Rebbe found it necessary to give my father a gift of a rabbinic hat, a broad, wide-rimmed hat. Der Tate hat erzählt, als der Rebbe hat ihm gesagt, als es passt nicht, für ein Rov herumzugehen on a Kapeljatsch. So my father related that the Rebbe had said that it wasn't the right thing for a rabbi to go around without a rabbinic hat, a wide-brimmed hat. Und hat ihm gegeben einen neuen Kapeljatsch. Soll ihm trocken auf den Kopf für der Zeit, was verbringt in Häuf. And for that reason, the rabbi, the Rebbe gave him a new hat, wide-brimmed hat, that he should wear on his head for the time that he spent in the court of the Radziminer. Die Mama hat leichten Schmeichel getan und gleich verstanden die Sache. My mother smiled briefly, and immediately she understood the whole matter. Der Rebbe hat dem Kapelusch nicht gekauft für dir, nur für sich, hat sie dem Taten gesagt. Es ist besser für ein Eisek, wenn in einem gut jüdischen Häuf dreht sich herum a spodek. So the Rebbe didn't buy you this rabbinic hat, but he didn't buy it for you, but for him himself. She told my father, it's better for business that in a Hasidic court a spodek, a proper rabbinic hat is present, so that a rabbi who wears a rabbinic hat in the court. Der Tate is given äußer sich verrazach shad. My father was beside himself because of this suspicion. Die Zeit hat gewiesen mein Vater, als die Mama is gewinn gerecht. Time indicated to my father that my mother was correct, nicht and not him. Sie hat mit ihr durchdringlichen Blick der Sinn dem Teuch von der tzadikischer Gutskeit. She, with her penetrating look, she saw through into the essence of this rabbi's good intentions. Der Tate hat später teuer bezahlt für sein Glauben. My father later on paid dearly for his belief. Aber derweil ist gewinn voll mit Begeisterung für der Radziminer Tzaddik. But in the meantime, he was full of enthusiasm for the Radziminer Rebbe. Ihm zu Hilfe ist gekommen der Yeshiva-Bocher Mattes, was hat sich zugebunden zu meinem Vater und mitgekommen mit ihm kein Ländchen lernen Teira. The Yeshiva-Bocher Mattes came to assist my father and attached himself to my father and came with him to Lenshin to study Torah.
Let me just point out that I've put on the chat a pointer to a picture of a kapelush, which I took from the Hebrew Museum, Museum Israel in Jerusalem.
Okay.
You took the actual hat?
Yes, I took the hat. I hope I'll give it back someday.
Okay.
Okay. Der Yeshiva-Bocher Mattes ist gewesen ein klein Menschel. Gewöhnlich niedrig. The Yeshiva-Bocher Mattes was a very small person, unusually short, aber breit gebeut, kräftig wie a kurz demben Kletzel. He was heavily built, powerful, with as powerful as a short oak plank. Is gewinn breiter wie länger. He was broader than tall, than he was tall. Seine volle blasse Backen seinen Gewinn bedeckt mit a blond Jungbärdel und Peis. His full pale cheeks were covered with a blonde young little beard and with Peis. Seine Finger von die Hand seinen Gewinn kurz und kräftig und krempig. His fingers, the fingers of his hands were short and I think this krempig is twisted. In seine blaue Augen hat gefinkelt Feierl von Gewürre und Fanatism. In his blue eyes there sparkled a little fire of courage and fanaticism. Wenn ich hab ihm gegeben Scholem, hat mich reingenommen mein englische Hand wie mit Zwangen. Und hat mir gesagt, so when I greeted him, he took my little childish hand as if with a pair of pliers. And he said to me, Joshua, hab meire for Gott herrscht. Joshua, fear God. Do you hear? Dabei hat mich aufgehoben zum Balken. Mit einer Grinkheit, wie wollte aufgehoben a Federal. And at the same time, he lifted me up towards the ceiling with such ease as if he were lifting a feather.
Oh, okay. I guess it's me now, right? Auf der Mama meine hat viele kein Blick nicht getan. He didn't even take one light look at my mother. Hat bloß gegessen mit einem riesigen Appetit dem Anbeißen, was die Mama hat weggestellt für ihn, unkendig geseder die Moitzesbräut in Salz. He only ate with an enormous appetite. He ate the meal that my mother put for him. And constantly dipping the bread that is used for the blessing of Motzi, constantly dipping it in salt. Der Zemine Rebbe is a Malach, oder gehalten in ein Überchasern dieselbe Rede. The Rebbe of Radzimir is an angel. He constantly kept repeating the same thing again and again. Die ganze Welt wird in Gichen der Sehn sein Größkeit. Ich sehe es, Rov. The whole world will very soon will see his greatness. I see it, Rebbe, Seine Augen haben geguckt weit vor sich, wie wohl schon bei Zeitens gesehen die Größkeit von Raziminer Reben, was nimmt ein die Welt. His eyes already looked far away, as if he already prematurely saw the greatness, as if he earlier saw the greatness of the Rebbe of Razimir that is conquering the world. Gleich noch ein Essen, nicht obruhendig, sag viele kein Rega, hat mich geheißen Firnem in Bessem Medrash und bald genommen lernen mit mir die Masechta Yevamos. Okay, right after eating, without even resting up 1 minute, he told me to lead him to the study house and right away started to study with me the tractate of Yevamos, which is, this is a tractate regarding regarding family life, to say the least. Okay.
It's also a very difficult tractate. The Mishnah is much easier. The Talmud is hard.
Yeah. It's when a husband dies, and then his brother. It's his brother's obligation to take the wife, to keep the property in the family, and then there's a lot of laws about it when. If the woman doesn't want, anyway, this is what the child needs to know now. In Ovent, bei Mincha, hat der Tate geschaffenem Tag bei die Balebatim von Stedler. I find it very funny. In the evening, toward the Mincha prayer, my father got him. Take means days. He got him other people, well-established people from the city, from the town, to feed him. That's what means tag. Geschaffen him tag. He got him people to feed him. Actually, the supper.
Yeah, each one for 1 day of the week. That's why it's called tag.
Yeah. Als Belohnung für sein Lernen mit mir. All that in compensation for studying with me. Ob ich gedarf ihm begleiten und sitzen mit ihm beim Tisch, wenn pflegt essen die Tag seine. I had to accompany him and to sit with him by the table when he was eating his those meals that he got each evening in at another house. Hat Moire gehabt, allein zu gehen. This is funny. He was afraid to go by himself, kede soll nicht amol dafen sitzen allein in Stub mit der Baleboste. He was afraid to go just by himself. He shouldn't have to sometimes sit alone in a room with a woman. A Baleboste is this is how they call a woman. You know,
the woman of the house.
The woman of the house, because this is according to the din yichud. He's not supposed to be with a woman in one room.
That sounds like Mike Pence.
Okay. Mit der Ballerboste, was ihr Mann ist nicht da in der Himmel. Ich cannot, in one room with a woman whose husband is not in the house. Hat gegessen mit der riesigen Appetit seine Tag, tunkendig die Moizis, Bräut in Salz und a viele kein ein Blick nicht gegeben auf die Weiber, wo so ihm zugetrogen die Macheulim, sie haben nicht existiert für ihn. So he was eating, he was eating with an enormous appetite. His those meals, those Monday meals, dipping the blessing bread in salt, and didn't even take one look at the women who were serving him those dishes. The women did not exist for him. Punkt wie Berischel Hindes ist Mattes gewinn verliebt in der Teure. Exactly like Berischel, who belongs to him, Berischel, who's the son of him.
No, the husband of.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Is Mattes gewinn verliebt in der Torah. So Mattes was in love with the Torah. Pflegt schlafen bloß a 4 Stunden in die Nacht. He used to sleep only 4 hours in the night. Das Iberike hat Esse gewinn in Lernen und in Davenen. The rest of the time of the night he was busy in learning and praying. Aber anstatt weinen beim Davenen, wie Berischel, hat gedavent mit Simche, mit Sturm, also hat euch gelernt. But instead of crying while praying, like Berischel used to do, this one, used to pray with joy, with excitement. And this is also how he was learning. Oy vey, the Torah is this. Oy vey, the Torah is sweet, oder oft geschrieben zu mir in Mittellernen. Herr's Joshua, es ist gar nicht da, als a Tanug, wie lernen Torah. He used to yell to me in the middle of his learning. You hear Joshua? There is no other pleasure like learning Torah. Okay.
I think
Somebody
you have one more paragraph.
Oh, I have more. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Wie Berischel ist gewinn verkocht in Chodoshim, is Mattes gewinn verkocht in Noshim. This is funny. Ja. In die Masechtes, was haben zu tun mit Mann und Weib, wie Kedushin, Gittin, Ktuvos, Yevomers und andere. Just like Berischel was excited about the tractate of Kedoshim.
It's tractates. Kedoshim is one of these Sidorim, and Kedoshim has to do with the sacrifices.
Yeah.
As opposed to Nashim, which is another Seder, which
I
contains
know. Martes was excited about like I said, the volume of nashim of the women that in those tractates that deal with issues between man and his wife, like it's like about marital law, really, like kiddushin, like getting married, getting divorced. Tubos is the marriage certificates. Vamos is like is another part of marital law on under, but this is what he was interested in. He wasn't interested in women. He never looked at them, but he was interested in laws about issues that are between men and women. Der Iker Takef legt der a neue oben von Vamos. Dinim wegen Chalitza. The main thing is that he had particular joy from Yevamos, that's laws regarding taking off the shoe. That's a ceremony that has to take place in zieh der kurzgewichsiger, starker Bocher hat in od die Gemores ausgelebt seine mansbillische verstickte Bageren zier und glatter so gehat a Schwachkeit sie od die weiberische Masechtes, weiß ich nicht. Whether this short, strong guy found in lived out by studying those Talmudic books, whether he lived out his male frustrated desires, whether he found in studying that stuff some kind of a release of his manly desires, or whether glatter so gehat a Schwachkeit sie od die weiberische Masechtes, or whether he just like that he had a weakness, I guess a likeness to those womanly tractates, to those tractates that deal with women, weiß ich nicht, I don't know. Aber ich weiß, dass hat mit mir gehalten in ein Lernen Noshim, but I know that with me he kept studying about women, or the Seder of women, the volume called Women. In Mittellernen pflegt euch reinfallen in seine Islavusen zu Gott, und pflegt rufen dem Ribono shel Oilem mit allerlei Liebe, Nehmen und Zärtlichkeiten, wie ein Geliebter zu sein Geliebte.
Mhm.
In the middle of learning, he used to, in his excitement about God, he used to call the creator of the world all kinds of loving names like affectionate names, like a lover would call his lover, like a loving man would call his lover, his female lover. I'm done. No?
Steve, your turn.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. At the beginning of page 167,
Yeah.
and wenn in a gut jiddischen Häuf dreht sich herum a spodik. So he was given the hat so that it looked like that the rabbi had a follower, correct? That's what we said, like he has somebody in his who is in his group. Where I've heard the word spodik before when you say loy mit a spodik, which means definitely no, because it's the Hebrew word for no. If you're not sure what loy means, loy mit a spodik, you're emphasizing that it's definitely no, and it's not another maybe lamed vav or something.
I would think that's a playful version of loy mit an aleph. Usually, if you want to say definitely not, you can say loy mit an aleph, as opposed to
Okay, loy mit an aleph, that's it. What is the loy mit an aleph?
Loy mit an aleph means lamed aleph as opposed to lamed vav, and it means definitely not. And if someone says loy mit a spodik, that person is making a joke.
Oh, okay.
A spodek is a saucer, right?
No,
A spodik is
Yes.
it is a hat.
I looked it up, it says it's a saucer.
No, but in this context, it's a hat, a rabbinic hat, and the Radziminer didn't have many rabbonim among his followers, and here Yeshua's father came to his court and he was a rabbi, and the Radziminer wanted to have rabbis among his followers, and the rabbi would wear a rabbinic hat, a spodik. A kapelush and a spodik are the same synonyms for the same thing.
Right, and again in Stuchkov, for loy mit an aleph, he also has versions loy mit a langer chaf, loy mit a spodik, loy mit a spodnitza, loy mit a streimel. So it's the version here.
Never heard this. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to have Stuchkov at hand. I've got it online, and you can always look things up there.
It's good to have somebody that can use technology that fast.
Do you have it on your site?
Yeah.
Link
Yeah,
to
Could you send us a link to Stuchka?
I'll
link
put it
the
in the
list.
chat.
Okay, so guys, I'm willing to wait till next week. I know you just have a minute or two left. I can start to read for a minute or two. Totally up to you guys.
Sure. You should begin at least.
Okay. Ziser, Greuser, sorry. Okay. Ziser, Greuser, Gelustiker, der Barem Dicker, pflegt Brummen, weil Brummen, weil
Wild.
Wild, ja. Und patscht mit der kurze Krempe Hand. Dabei mich Kopf tun und aufheben. So this is what he yells out: sweeter, sweetie, or sweetest, the biggest, the most longing for, the most merciful. He used to roar wildly and clap his small hands, and eventually, I guess, flip me over till my feet were over my head.
Yeah, thereby at the same time,
At the same,
he would
okay,
grab me and lift me over his head.
right, okay. Wegen kein andere Sach, chutz der Teure, hat gar nicht gewusst, gar nicht gesehen. About anything else besides the Torah, he knew nothing and he saw nothing. Blois ein Mol hat bemerken a Sach Stoiges Hey,
Stoigus
Hey, stehen offen Pferd. Except for one time when he noticed bales of hay. I guss they were on a horse or
felled, not fared. Felled.
a feld. I see. I was standing in the field.
Yes.
Hat geguckt a while und mir gefragt, sag mir, zu was darf a klein Städtel so viel hay wiegelig? So he stopped and he looked for a while and then he asked, tell me, what does such a small town need with so much hay for cradles?
Yeah.
Keep going, or you want to wait?
Yeah, go on.
One more sentence at least.
Okay. Hat gemeint, als hey nützen.
Meinen is
Gemeint.
to think.
Ja, gemeint,
So.
als hey nutzen men bloß euch zu betten, wiegelig für Kinder. He had thought that all hay was used for was to make beds for children, for cradle.